everyone, welcome back to Live Darts. We're here, build up for the William Hill World Darts Championship. We've got former champion of the world, Rob Cross. Rob, do you still get excited this time of year?
Yeah, definitely, obviously. It's one of them tournaments, the only tournament actually, what you come up to, you get a little bit of time off so you can prep yourself and sort of going in, it's the biggest thing in the game of darts, it really is.
Hard to believe it's still only your third World Championship. People seem to get carried away that, Rob's been around for ages, but it's not, it's only your third time here. Do you remember that first time driving up the hill, looking at Alexandra Palace, looking over London?
It's just amazing. Even last year, I suppose, I wasn't playing well last year. When I went in, I actually tried to battle. I did, obviously, Jeffrey first round, and it was a tough game. And sort of just that drive up there, it's just totally special. It is just sort of the air stand up on the back of your neck, and obviously the hands, even on your arms. It's just an amazing place to go in there and play. And if anywhere in the world what you want to play well is there.
Going back to last year, I remember you had the slight hump about defending champion opens up on opening night, and then you're in round 3 before anyone else has even played round 1 some games, and the length you had between your first round and your next game, was that a tough thing to get over?
I think it's massive. I think, yeah, maybe, but then you make your own heaven, you make your own hell in the game, like I know firsthand. Obviously, after I won the Worlds, I come in the following year, I struggled and with the commitments and everything, but now, all of a sudden, I look at it, I've looked at it this year, I don't worry, I'll get on with it. If I have a bad weekend, it has to be forgotten about. We move on to the next, and to be honest with this coming up, I'm glad that I can be on the practice board now. I've been back on it a little bit, but doing more than normal, and it's actually, I think it's helping.
I'm going to take you back to 2018, that first round game. Can you still remember it?
2018, I would have played Sergio Asada. Yeah.
So 3-0 win.
Not too bad. I remember having a 1-2-1 in the game and other things like that. Yeah, didn't play too bad, just over the 100 average, I think.
Yeah. Look at this, so you do remember these things?
Yeah, slowly. I try not to.
From there, round 2, can you remember who it was?
Went to best of 7, didn't it? So it's got to be. Do you know? I'm going to get it the wrong way round. It's either Michael Smith or John Henderson. So I'm going to go for Michael Smith.
Was correct. In an unbelievable game.
Fantastic. He should have had me. He should have had me. He just didn't sort of put me away. I remember double 18 and I hit the double 14 to go one sort of all square. 3-all in sets, and the last set I hit a fair few 180s bailed me.
So from there, last 16 would have been
John Henderson. It's easy, isn't it, now?
Remember anything about that game?
I remember it sort of. I thought I won it. Maybe was it 4-1 or something like that?
4-1, correct.
Yeah. So I remember sitting there. I never actually felt safe in it because John was hitting some big finishes. I think he had 107 and 120 or whatever, and it was a weird game because I was sort of sitting on the fence with it, but not over the winning line. But I was close, and it was just really nice just to sort of obviously just get over the winning line.
Quarter final.
Dimitri Vandenberg, because I was in front, and then I remember sort of having a few sleep moments.
Yeah, 4-all, sliding set.
Not too bad, yeah. Obviously, yeah, I think I was up a little bit. I think I won the first couple of sets in that game, and Dimitri, though, he showed a lot of bottle that time, and fair play to him. I just managed to scrape it. Me finishing him saved me at the end.
Obviously, the semi-final is one of the best games that stage has ever seen, deep into the night in North London. And it was late in the night.
It was. I wanted my bed, but yeah, I had to keep going. It was probably the weirdest game I've ever played. Obviously, one of the longest games I've ever played. I remember the final leg shootout more than anything, and I remember standing there thinking to myself, come on, you can win this, and Michael missed a bullseye at the 25, and then I'm thinking to myself, do you know what, I've never been here before. Felt alien, just totally alien. Yeah, just glad I come out on the right side of it.
And then the final, arguably your easiest game in terms of you led and never ever looked like being caught.
No, in fairness, Phil was great, and he stayed around the 100 mark. I just think the timing in the game was obviously much superior, and it sort of just carried on. It was just one of them games. I think the only time when I first come out and I had a little bit, I still hit over 100 average, I think, but I was a little bit ropey first set. And I was edgy, and things were still going in. By the time I got the 3-0 up, I knew he wasn't going to catch me. I knew.
During this remarkable run, when did you believe it was on? And it might have been fate.
I think going in, obviously, I knew I was playing well, but I have been playing well and making deep in other tournaments and not having my day. I think realistically, when Michael missed them darts against me, and then you start to believe, because the only person that was beating me up to that point was pretty much Michael van Gerwen. And I kept thinking to myself, I thought, well, I've been let off this time, so maybe it's my time.
What was that like going home a world champion the next day?
I never went home, Phil. I never went home for the first sort of 10 days, I think. I spent it on the road. I stayed away from the family. I'd done a few bits. It was absolute mayhem. And obviously it was crazy because when I did go home, we had a massive party. And do you know what? Absolute fantastic. It was held at the Sydney Club where I love and cherish, obviously, do a lot of my practice there. And without them, probably would have built up at the Worlds. It made every bit of difference for me for the way I was playing. But I'm back there this year. Go again.
Are you superstitious? Do you stick to the same routines and things like that?
Yeah, we all try to. I believe, there's not one superstitious dart player really out there. We all run routines. We all get used to doing what we're doing. And for me, if anything changes, and sometimes I can have it be a trivial change, but it can play on you. I have my set routine, and I like my routines to go to the way they should. And if they don't, sometimes I can come out and I feel uncomfortable. So massively that I need to keep that routine the same.
From there, it was a rocky year which you've spoken about, and you've addressed the issues that you had because you tried to do everything as world champion. Was that like arguably the lowest point in your career because you tried to do everything and tried to take it on your shoulders as the champ?
I think you feel obliged to, obviously, being world champion, you go out there, you try to play everything. At the same time, it's not feasible. Another thing was that I had to learn from such a great eye. Most of these boys what won their first world title, they were already 5 years experience or 10 years. And I really must say that I'm really glad that the PDC put up with me because I was just a pure amateur at it, really. I tried to settle in, I give it 110% every week with the media and other things like that. But I don't know whether I've done a good job or a bad job, really. But with these things, I had to learn off a great eye. And last year I'd done my bit of learning. I picked up a couple of majors this year, and I feel more relaxed. I feel back to my old self. And to be honest with you, going in, I'd give up everything else what I've won to have that one back again.
You entertain millions on a weekly basis, but back home, do the kids know how famous you are, or are you just dad to them?
I think my little boy sort of realises, but they all love it. They all watch me and stay up late and sometimes, maybe a bit late to school trying to get them out of bed the next day. But at the same time, it is what it is. And I have to admit, for me, with my kids, they're my pride and joy. So even if they didn't like darts, I wouldn't care less. I'd love them to bits and just carry on with the way it is. So to be honest with you, the only thing, they keep me motivated. And I'd feel no more pleasure than what I could ever feel, really, by bringing that world title home again to the little boy. He loves it.
Speaking of your little boy, the match play, we saw the smile on his face up on the stage when he had the pictures and that trophy. Is that one that you'll get out on his 18th birthday?
Oh, definitely. I think all these little things, we're all on our own little paths in life and wherever they lead. Obviously, mine's turned out to be great in darts at the minute and, quite extraordinary. But who's to say that, do you know what, he loves the game so much, he'll probably take darts or try and push him into something else. So, for me, sort of 18th birthday and stuff for him. And also, I want him to make his own way in life. So whatever suits him, to try and be himself and do it for himself. And just like we all have to in life, we all have to make them steps to being a man and doing it for yourself. So I'd like him to do it.
When you look back at your darting career as well, I'm going to go back to the UK Open in 2016. When you played Michael, have you watched it back since? Because you were an unknown. No one knew the name Rob Cross then. It was just like, who's this pushing the world number one then? Have you watched it back and how well you played that day?
Thought I played all right. I actually thought I was playing better at the time. I never got my main game out on the stage, but at the same time, Michael probably had arguably one of his best games on stage. That 9 darter and
the 170
obviously the two
wasn't it?
170s and stuff, and it's brilliant. But that was the spark for me. And my uncle had to drag me to there and sort of say to me, "Come on, Rob, you can do this." And when I got there and I started playing, I started winning, and then obviously bumped into Michael, and I walked off the stage and I said to one of the markers, and he said to me, "Rob, you really played great there. I'll see you very soon." He said, "You'll be back." And I said to him, I didn't really feel like I played my best. I said, "I'm definitely going to be back," and I loved it from square one. And that's when the change in my life sort of come, that I thought to myself, "Do you know what, I can play on a big stage. I can go up there, I can produce and hopefully do great things."
So that was my next one. Was that the moment you decided, hang on a minute, this is something that I can do at a professional level?
Yeah, definitely. I actually felt, that even I think I lost 9-5 to Michael or whatever.
You're good at these results, aren't you?
I'm good, yeah. Brain's full of knowledge, but nothing useful. That's all you got to remember. At the same time, sort of like playing him in that environment and stuff, and he was used to it more than me. But the way I was playing, I was expecting to average 103, 104 in fairness. I think I walked away with about a 99 tank. So it weren't bad darts. But I knew there's more in the tank all the time.
Was it a tough decision as well to leave your job and become a professional? Because obviously you started with nothing, and you're on a good wage supporting. Was that a real tough decision for you and the family to do?
I think it was made easier by my mum and dad. They said to me they'd give me a little bit of money to tie this over if things get tight and stuff like that. So I did have something prepared in the background. You can't just lose your house and end up on the street, obviously.
Yeah.
The kids mean more than that to me. So at the same time, without obviously having that offer to go and live your dream, and it was all played out for sort of 2 years. So if I fell flat on my face, I would have just had to pay a lot of debts back now, and obviously worked my bum off.
It's worked out all right though.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'll be honest though, it wasn't possible without them. Everyone supported me. Everyone believed that I could do it. Probably that actually before I realised that I could. They all watched me play and they said, "Oh, you're amazing. You can play like them on TV, if not better." And then all of a sudden you get an experience it, wake up one morning and think to yourself, "I'm the man, no one else."
Rob, it's an absolute pleasure chatting to you in the build-up to the William Hill World Darts Championship. I wish you all the very best this year, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.